Canaries chasing yellow and green through every ground in the championship scene. Bags packed, scarves high, stories to share. Wherever the Canaries play, we'll be there. On the road, city, we're singing loud and proud. From the river to the terraces, we'll follow through the crowd. On the road, city, from Dublin to the Shire, we'll find the pubs, the songs, the hearts, and light the Canary fire. Fans in the stands tell us where to go, for a pint, for a bite, for the best pre-match glow. What's the town like? Where should we stay? What's the roar of your home crowd like?
Hi Canaries, Cillian here, your flying Canary, and joined by Nick, the driving Canary, for our January away day preview on the Road City, part of obviously the Beyond the Barclay podcast series, proud members of the TalkSPORT Fan Network, where you can watch a huge amount of championship games on Now TV. We're going to talk a little bit about the couple of away games we had in December and get them stuck into the January ones. So Nick, mixed results, 2 points from 3 games. That's the headline, which isn't great, but with 2 draws away to Sheffield United and Preston. Obviously, that disappointment after our lovely breakfast in Watford.
Yeah, definitely. Life under Philippe Clement is definitely on the up, isn't it? It feels like we've got our Norwich City back. I think I said to you at 2-2 at Watford, whilst I didn't want to lose, it felt like we'd got our football back. It was exciting. It was attacking football, and it felt enjoyable again. 3-2, I don't think it was a fair result on the day. I think it probably summed up the start to our season, but it was, like I say, it was free flowing. It was attacking. We just need to learn to cut out the silly mistakes. But how many years have we been talking about that?
Exactly. Just for the fans' benefit, we're recording this on the Sunday before Christmas, but we've had all our December away days. We have 2 home matches, which obviously we don't cover on this series. So it was a bit disappointing yesterday, Nick, that last second, I wasn't going to say last minute, that last second equaliser from Preston.
Yeah, horrific, wasn't it? I mean, Makama with a great goal, and we really do need to learn to close out play. I think, it felt like we're doing exactly the right things, right in front of the Norwich fans in the away end, trying to close out and run out the clock. But, I think we've got far too many people forward with that ball, and only needed 1 or 2 of them to be up there. And caught on the counter-attack and a sloppy goal. I think for me, Vlad has to do better again. I think he's a good shot stopper, but I think if balls are coming up in the air or coming at him, for me, he tends to panic a little bit, and that's something that we need to close out.
Very true, very true. I mean, I think before the game, anybody would have taken a draw, given that Preston were in 3rd place.
Yeah, you'd have taken a draw. At Sheffield United. We should have won. Let's be honest. Forson should have scored that right at the end, and then we shouldn't have dropped 2 points yesterday either. But yeah, two draws on paper before the game. You'd have taken both of them in our current situation. But yeah, let's look forward to some more great days on the road coming up.
Yeah, so we talk about 3 of the games first, then we come back to 1. So we're middle of the month. We got Wrexham, a place I haven't been before. Are you looking forward to that one?
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I think I've only ever been to Wrexham once, and I think it was in the days of me being a student and working part-time. I think I went out to Wrexham when Northampton Town played, and many years ago. So yeah, it's a ground I've not been to for probably 30 years or more. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting back on the road. Looking forward to visiting the new ground, and absolutely nothing to do with the Hollywood dramatics that go on at that particular location. Just looking forward to visiting another ground and somewhere that we haven't been to before for a long time.
Yeah, Joel's coming over with me for that one. We're going to fly into Birmingham, catch a train up to Wrexham and stay overnight. So again, excited by going there. I believe Wrexham as a town doesn't have a lot to offer, but I'm sure it's about the atmosphere and the experience of an away day. How do you think we got thumped by them in our home fixture? How do you think it might go?
Yeah, I think it'll be 3 points for us. I think we're going to go through a really strong Christmas and New Year period now, pick up some good points and get ourselves well clear of the relegation zone for sure.
And then we've got a midweek away game against West Brom at the Hawthorns. I always love going to the Hawthorns. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss this one. The Vine is always good fun for a bite to eat and a pint before the game. How do you think that one will go?
I can't remember the last time we've had a good result at West Brom. It feels like a long time. But yeah, super easy for me, that one. Parking's always super easy. And yeah, there's no better feeling in the away end than laughing at that stupid boiler mascot that comes out before kick-off, is there? So yeah, looking forward to another game under the lights midweek.
Didn't you get a parking fine there last year?
Yeah, I did. Pre-booked the parking. I think I was one of a good number of Norwich fans that got a parking fine. I mean, it got rescinded, but yeah, it was in the hotel, so I'm not sure quite what went wrong with their AMPR that day.
And then right at the end of the month, long trip for some of the fans up to Middlesbrough. One of my favourite away locations. Always great fun up there. Although,
yeah, looking forward to Parmo before the game with probably with Matty Sokol and probably the Southwest Canaries, as we always do. So yeah, it's always a good day out. Again, can't remember the last time we got a good result there.
No.
At least it's not a Friday night this time. Well, not yet anyway.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna hopefully stay on a Saturday. I think we're safe going through to January. It does look like we've, I think a good chance, certainly on paper, for our next two home games against. We've got Charlton on the 26th, and then we got
Watford. Yeah, it's got to be time. It's got to be 6 points, isn't it? It's got to be 6 points, and then going super confident then on the bounce straight into QPR away, which is obviously what we'll focus on now.
Yeah, so I mean that's always a tough one, to QPR away. And we are delighted to have a super fan with us today from QPR, host of All About Ours. Riley, you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Tell us all about what it's like to visit Loftus Road. But before we do that, maybe you can tell us about your journey becoming a QPR supporter.
So obviously, it's probably running my family. My granddad, he was a QPR fan throughout the 70s and 80s. He took my dad. He gave my dad a choice, Chelsea or QPR. Said you can choose Chelsea, but you're not going to go to the games, or you can come QPR and you'll be at Loftus Road every week. So he chose QPR, and then he took me, and then
Did you get
my first season,
get the same ultimatum or the same choice?
I had no choice. and then he took me. My first season was in the Premier League in 2015. We got relegated, finished 20th, but I've had a season ticket ever since then.
Okay. And tell us about your show then. You're a bit of a legend in terms of broadcasting as well.
Yeah, I started blogging in 2022 on New Year's Day, and then recently, like last season, I started showing my face and doing interviews, and it's pretty much took off from there. I've gained over 1,000 subscribers since the start of the season, so it's doing well this year.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it when you came to Carrow Road. That was my first exposure to it. It's a great show, so well done on that.
Thank you.
And maybe you could tell us then, like, what's your home day ritual like? We've seen what you do on an away day, going to Norwich, for example, but when it's at Loftus Road, what do you get up to?
Loftus Road is pretty local to me. It's only like a 20-minute walk from my house. Usually, there's loads of pubs on the high street going towards stadiums. Me and my friends, we just go to the local pub that's on the corner. There's loads of pubs, like I said. And once we spend a few hours in there, we head to the stadium. So it's like a 10-minute walk from there. Yeah, we just watch the game. Sometimes if we win, we might go back. But if we don't, we'll probably go home.
And what's the best way to get to the ground, Riley? I know there's a couple of tube stations. I know some are busier than others. I think some of the home fans, if I remember rightly, will pile in the same one, and the other one always is quite empty. But what are your recommendations for people, especially on New Year's Day, getting in and around?
Well, because it's New Year's Day, I'm not sure how Norwich fans would get there, like train station wise. It's usually either Stratford or Liverpool Street, like coming to London. So if you are coming from Stratford, it's just a straight central line train to Shepherd's Bush or Whitesea. The local one's Whitesea, but Shepherd's Bush is where the away pub is designated. So if you are having a day out in Shepherd's Bush, probably stay there. But if you're going straight to the stadium, Whitesea. If you're coming from Liverpool Street, the Hammersmith and City line is your best bet. And then going off at Shepherd's Bush Market and then just taking a 5-minute walk to the away end.
Nice. And what about parking? If people are driving, is there anywhere to park around the ground? Is there any match day parking available that you're aware of?
Well, I'm sure you've probably been off the show. The stadium it's in the middle of a council estate, basically. So it's really tight in terms of the area around it. I'd assume there's loads of streets, around where you can probably park, people's parking areas. You can ask them. But Westfield shopping centre, a big shopping centre next to its ground, there's a big parking area there, which I'm pretty sure it's expensive, but it's probably your best bet because, London, it's really like depth and like it's really hard to like find places to park. So West London, Westfield's probably your best bet.
Definitely big train and tube for me. The London games always are, so it's nice on those occasions to leave the car at home and jump on the train for sure.
Yeah, I'm staying in Norwich over the New Year, so I'm getting the coach down with all the other Canary fans straight to the ground. So I'll probably miss out on the pub before the game, but it's all Shepherd's Bush. It's always swinging before a match. It's always a good march down to the ground then from there. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's always a good atmosphere. I always find, to me, Loftus Road's a bit like Marmite. I know some Norwich fans think it's the best away ground, the best away day ever, and others hate the place. Where are you sat in that one, Nick?
I always like it. I always enjoy going. I like the fact that it's tight. It's in, as Riley said, it's right in the middle of the council estate. There's houses and flats and shops all around it. I think the away end itself is a dump. In terms of the concourse, it's really tight. Even though we've sold it out again, they'll only open one concession stand, won't they? So the queues for the beers and the pies, it's just ridiculous. And the other 2 or 3 concession stands will stay shut, and it just creates carnage, and you can't even get to the toilet. So I do like those tight away grounds, but they really do need to sort out the concourse in terms of opening some more places and getting more people through. And I genuinely don't know why they don't, and make themselves a little bit more money, to be fair, but it seems to be the same every season.
Yeah, I think it was last season when I was there. Very bizarrely, a fox was up in we were on the upper tier, was up in the stand and jumped from the stand onto the pitch, which was I'd never seen before a game. So it's obviously an urban fox. I believe you had the foxes with you there very recently, Riley, and you turned them over rightly.
I know, it was a brilliant game. I think that's probably one of the best first half performances I've seen live in a match. 4-0 up after 45 minutes, it was insane. To be fair, for the most part, I thought Leicester, they weren't even bad on the ball, passing around. But, every time we had an attack, we just seemed to score in that first half. And we scored after 2 minutes. Koki Sato scored a goal. And then, it's from there, the goals kept flooding in.
Seems a bit like last time we played you, to be fair. Every time you came forward, it looked like you were going to score, and you did most of the time, in fairness. So yeah. In terms of places, now, Riley, what are your recommendations for places to have a bite to eat before the game? I think I normally end up somewhere in Westfields, to be fair, but as a local, what are the best places to go?
Well, if you're coming for like a London dish, pie and mash, there's a pie and mash shop on Uxbridge Road, not far from the stadium. It's only about a 5-minute walk. And like you said, Westfield, London as well, anything, whatever you want to eat in Westfield, it's probably there, Indian, Chinese, the normal like McDonald's, Greggs, it's all in there. On the Uxbridge Road, High Road, you've got KFC, McDonald's, Wenzel's, everything you want, it's there. If you are looking to make a day out of QPR, you can go Central London, Oxford Street, Oxford Circus, Leicester Square, all on the Central Line, about 20 minutes, 10-minute tube ride, and you're there. And then you come back to White City, Shepherd's Bush, and you're at the stadium. So, it's all pretty connected, and, it's really easy to get around.
Yeah. In terms of the atmosphere then at a home match, obviously you've had some pretty solid results recently at home. Obviously you had the disappointment at Carrow Road, but I'm sure you're all waiting for revenge on us. But what's the atmosphere like for fans who haven't been there before?
Well, the thing is with QPR, like at Carrow Road, I think it's the Barclay stand, it's the one right next to the away end, that's where all the atmosphere comes from, and that's right next to the away end, so that you can sort of hear the home fan atmosphere and you guys can hear the away fans. At Loftus Road, though, it's like the opposite, where like our loud fans sit on the complete opposite end of the stadium. So the loud blocks are the R block, Q block, and P block, and you've got the safe stand in the lower loft. But so like an away fan, you can't really hear it. To be fair, Leicester last week, I couldn't hear them because they're so far, and the noise, it just comes out of the stadium, and they can't hear us. It's not great because there are blocks around the ground where loud fans can sit, but we just don't choose to. So I think in terms of for us, it's pretty loud. Against Leicester, we were making a lot of noise, but I spoke to this Leicester fan and said in the first half we were loud, but in the second half you couldn't hear us, which obviously obviously I'm in the home end, so I can hear us in the second half, and I thought we were quite loud, but he thought the opposite. So I think in terms of away fans, it is hard to hear us, and it's hard to generate a lot sort of banter atmosphere, like because there's no back and forth.
Yeah.
So that is a problem. For pre-match atmosphere, though, I think that is one thing that I was speaking to my friend about. We need to improve because, like Norwich, you guys have on the ball City, like Leeds, they have marching on together. We don't really have anything like that. The players come out and the fans, they just sort of clap. There's nothing really going on. We sing pig bag, like the hoops as they come out, but like not many fans sing that as they come out. We only sing it when we score, really. So that is something we do need to improve on in terms of pre-match atmosphere.
Yeah, it seems funny. It seems a pattern now with more teams having the away fans directly opposite the home fans, or the louder home fans. And we had it in Preston yesterday. We had it in Watford earlier. And I think it takes away from the atmosphere. I think the bit of banter between the fans, if they're close, as long as it remains civil enough. There's always a good bit of footy banter. I think it does take away a bit from the atmosphere. And I know Norwich have been talking about moving the away fans. I don't know. Probably put on hold. I think it's pretty good where they sit. The away fans currently sit in terms of generating an atmosphere. Now, sometimes our home fans can be quiet, but the away fans usually make a fair bit of noise. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it's always quite quiet at Loftus Road, and probably for the reason that Riley says that there is no roof, is there? There's nothing hanging over the top of you. That I think the sound just fairly quickly escapes into London and out of the ground. So yeah, you tend to not to not hear a lot. So but building on that, Riley, you're close to the playoffs. You could be cemented in the playoffs by the time the fixture comes round. But looking at the Championship table, you could be the bottom half of the table by the time that the game comes around as well. It's there's so hit and miss, and they're so tight that that middle pack of the Championship as it always is. And some people say it's because of the high quality of the football in the Championship. That's why everybody's so close. But for me, I think the football that I've seen in the teams that we've played so far, despite the fact we've been beat by most of them, the football's been pretty poor in all honesty. And I think for me, that's why it's so close. And I think that's why teams like Coventry and Middlesbrough are stretching their legs a little bit, because it doesn't take much to string a few results together. But, what are your hopes for the season, and how's the season shaping up for you so far?
Like you said, like the quality of the season is not great. When we lost to Coventry 7-1 in the start of the season, I think they had 8 shots on target or something. Every time they had an attack, they just scored, and it shows like they're not even that good. I think Middlesbrough, when we played them last week, I thought they were better than Coventry, even though they beat us 7-1. So the quality is not great, and I think it's anyone's for the taking. I think if Norwich, like you said, with your new manager Clement, you're on the up now. I think if you string a couple results together coming from now to February, I think you could be in the mix as well. It's anyone's game. I think last season in February we got up to 8th, with Martin Cifuentes, and then we finished 16th. So it's anyone's for the taking. I think our next couple of fixtures, we've got Portsmouth, West Brom, Norwich, and Sheffield Wednesday. And I think if we can get at least 9 to 10 points out of that, and I think we can actually get playoffs, because we haven't been in the playoff race for a couple of years now. Obviously, last thing was that we were in the playoff race was 2022, and we finished 11th, I think. That was under Mark Warburton. Obviously, we had the Michael Bill season after, where we finished 20th. We were first after 15 games. Yeah, we finished 20th, because we left us the Glasgow Rangers. But before that, obviously, we were in countless relegation battles after getting relegated from the Premier League. So QPR fans, we haven't had much to cheer about recently in the last decade or so, but hopefully the season will be different under Stefan.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I completely agree. I think it was Middlesbrough, wasn't it? Was it 2 seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons ago? Middlesbrough were rock bottom, weren't they, coming up to Christmas? And they managed to get in the playoffs with stringing result after result after result together. And I think the Championship will be the same this season. I think there's a really good chance that those at the top half of the table, apart from a couple, and probably that lot down the road, they look like they're stringing a few results together and will probably be there or thereabouts. But, I think the rest of the table is really up for grabs. And what are your predictions for the result on New Year's Day? Are you hopeful for a win?
Well, I mean, we've won 4 in a row at home now, and I think you are our next home game. So hopefully we do win, and we won't get 5 out of 5. It can go anyway. Like you said, this league it's crazy, it goes anyway every single week. Last time you guys came, we beat 3-0. Rayan Colley scored, and then Jimmy Dunn, I think. Yeah. But, like you said, it can go anyway. I hope we do win, though. I think we will win, considering... Is your away form any good?
Ooh, it's a tough question, that. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, our away form was really good at the start of the season, and then it just fell off a cliff. Our home form was terrible. That's picked up. Our away form, we've drawn our last 2 matches, but they were against Sheffield United and Preston, which are not easy places to go to get a result. So I would say our away form is getting better. But I think, as you know yourself, Riley, football's a confidence game. And, with a small bit of confidence can make a huge difference in the championship.
I think we will win. I think it all depends about the Portsmouth and West Brom game for us. If we manage to get results out of that, then I think we definitely will win. But like you said, it's a confidence game. If we go to Portsmouth on Boxing Day and then West Brom a couple of days after, it will be your game. And I think if we win those 2 games, or at least get 4 points from those games, I'll go with a 3-1 Rangers win. If we don't get results from that, and you manage to get results on Boxing Day and a couple of days after, probably 2-1 Norwich, to be fair. But obviously, we've got 2 keepers that are in and out of the team. So Stephanie, he's not scared to change things in our team, and I think that's the thing that Martin Stefanis didn't do. He didn't have a plan B last season, and that's the reason we were so inconsistent this season. We're not as inconsistent. We still lose games, don't get me wrong, but we're drawing less, which is good considering wins are better than draws. And I think, like you said, it's about confidence. And if you manage to string results together, I think we'll get playoffs. And I think the result against you will be big for Sheffield Wednesday, because QPR, we're really bad against the bad teams. Like, we'll go, Sheffield Wednesday will come to Loftus Road and they'll probably beat us, even if we do beat you. But hopefully we do beat you, and I'll go with 3-1 Rangers.
Very good. Who would be your big rivals? I mean, if there's one team that you hate to see, or that you really are up for, who would it be?
Well, for every QPR fan would probably say Chelsea, but because they're massive now, they're way bigger than us, world champions at the moment, we kind of have to shy away from them. Obviously, not of course, not as much as we'd like to, but because they're so big, we haven't played them in a whole decade, so the rivalry sort of fell off now. Now, probably Luton Town, obviously they're in League 2 now, League 1 now, sorry. Obviously getting relegated back to back. But when they'd always come to Loftus Road and we'd go to Kenilworth Road, it'd always be a feisty encounter. Obviously, Brentford fans, they tried to get in the mix saying we're their rivals, but we don't see them as rivals, we just see them as the little club from down the road. Fulham, I think we see Fulham as a little bit too posh for us, I think they're one of those clubs where, like, I don't even mind for them. If Chelsea win or if Luton win, I'm like, oh man. But if Fulham win, it's just Fulham, innit? Like, same with Brentford. If Brentford win, it's just Brentford. Obviously, Millwall as well. I think it's always a feisty encounter when Millwall come, but whenever Millwall go, it's always.
It is really, isn't it, Jeff? What about Charlton?
Nah, not Charlton. They're too far east for us. Same with like Tottenham and Arsenal and Palace. They're too far out.
Okay. So Chelsea's the big one. So have you been to it? Have you seen Chelsea play at Loftus Road?
Yeah, once when I was like really small though. Like, we lost 1-0. If you remember, Oscar, he scored at the 80th minute or so. Yeah, that was it. They won 1-0. I think a couple of seasons before that, we did win at Stamford Bridge. I think we won 1-0. I think Sean Wright Phillips scored the winner. So that was probably one of the biggest games for our fans. I wasn't there, of course, but that was really one of the biggest games. I think for me, in terms of rivalries, one of the biggest games I saw was when we beat Luton last season away. We beat them 2-1, coming from 1-0 down. Michael Frey and Nicholas Madsen scored. Nicholas Madsen, by the way, you probably should watch out for him. He's really good this season. Last season, he wasn't really good. I think the fans were on his case a lot last season, but now I think he's really shown up under Stefan, and I think you should look out for him because he's a really good ball carrier in midfield and stuff like that. And I think he'll cause you a couple of problems if you don't switch on with him. But like I said, yeah, Luton was probably one of the biggest one now, but because they're relegated, I'd go with Millwall this season.
Sounds good. Hey, do you want to finish up with a plug for your show and to tell fans where they can find you and how they can follow you?
Well, mostly on YouTube. I do matchday vlogs on YouTube. I hit 4,000 subscribers the other week, so I'm thankful for that. I'm on TikTok as well. I post clips of the matchday vlog on TikTok. I'm nearly at 10,000. I think I'm around 7,000 now. So once I get that 10,000 mark, I can start monetizing my TikTok videos, which I'll be happy about. But yeah, mostly on TikTok and on YouTube.
And what was your inspiration for starting the vlogs?
Well, I mean, you've probably watched a lot of the vloggers like Fogden, Fusion, Josh. A good one's also Villa on Tour. They're all good, and I think being a fan's good. It's normal to be a fan, but I wanted to sort of be more than that and connect with the club because I always wanted to be a footballer. But I realize I'm not too good at that. So I wanted to sort of connect with the club. So, I always have comments on my videos saying like, thank you from Australia and Denmark and stuff. So like, it's good to like see I'm creating a connection with the club, even though they're not at Loftus Road every week.
Okay, very good. And do you travel to all the away games as well?
Well, I haven't missed a Saturday away game this season. Obviously, I missed the midweek ones because of school, but I haven't missed a single Saturday away game this season. So I'm proud of that. I think I've already booked my Leicester tickets and the train tickets, and that's in March. So a lot of them have already been scheduled. Obviously Norwich has already been gone. I've been Norwich twice in the last 2 years. Obviously, I've never seen us win there. I've been 3 times. The first time I went was the last game of the season. I think it was 2017. You beat us 4-0. And obviously last season was 1-1 and this season 3-1. So not a good record at Canary Road.
Okay, what about did you go to Wrexham this year?
Yeah, I did. We beat them 3.
How was that? Obviously, we were talking about that earlier, and we haven't been there as Norwich for a long time. I don't know if we've ever been there. What was it like?
I think Nick said it's a nothing town really. There's not much going on in Wrexham. Obviously, the away pub is right next to the stadium. Behind that pub, there's actually a McDonald's, so that's food. That's the only sort of food I saw there. The away pub is about a 5-minute walk up a hill, and you've got to go around the construction site because they don't have a fourth stand like Oxford. And then you walk up another hill and you're in the away, and it's a bizarre stadium really. And if you're in the top row, you can't even see half the pitch because the roof like slants down sort of, a bit like Crystal Palace.
Look forward to the multi-million-pound Hollywood Super Bowl that is Wrexham away in a couple of weeks. Then, Cillian, sounds like an absolute delight. I'm sure it'll be an impressive ground, and we'll be all singing, all dancing once they've got a few more £1 million invested in it. Riley, it's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas, and hopefully Norwich come to town and make the new year not quite so enjoyable for you, and we run off back to Norwich with 3 points. Best of luck to you. Hopefully you grab 3 points away at Portsmouth on Boxing Day, because that will certainly do us a favour, and wish you the very best. I'll hand over to Cillian to close us out with our latest tune.
Yeah, indeed. Well, listen, fans, thanks for tuning in. On the Road City, we're going to be doing it once a month, and we'll hopefully have a fan in from one of the teams we're playing, but obviously QPR being probably the toughest game we have away, well, certainly one of them in January. Delighted to have Riley on board here today. We are, as you know, we've got all our songs for the Christmas album, but we are releasing a January song, and we're going to play you out with it. It's called 4 Grounds and 1 Canary Badge. Thanks for tuning in.
Good January morning, Dublin half asleep. Cillian at the gate, city in his dreams. Boarding pass crumpled, yellow scarf tight. Flying canary, chasing floodlit nights. From all Twinkle lanes to the motorway grind. Nick's got the wheel and too much time. Heater on full, playlist loud. Driving Canary, heading southbound. Different roads, same old song. One club pulling us along. Cold hands, loud hearts. Another month where the madness starts. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. Miles on the clock, never turning back. From skies to roads, through frost and rain. We follow city again and again. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. January burns, but the fire still lasts. We lose or freeze, our toes off mad. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. Shepherd's Bush humming, tight old stand. Loftus Road shaking when the singing lands. Green and yellow in a sea of blue. London knows what Canaries do. Race cars roar, red smoke in the air. Hollywood dreams, but we don't care. Small town loud, football raw. January nights, we live for more. Same song, different town. Same pints spilled upside down. Every ground, same belief. Hope stitched into every sleeve. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. Miles on the clock, never turning back. From skies to roads, through frost and rain. We follow city again and again. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. January burns, but the fire still lasts. We lose or freeze, our toes off mad. 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge. straight through bone, singing like it's Carrow Road. Riverside lights, the north wind bites, but the way end warms the night. Timetables torn, service is late, motorways closed, fate, tempting fate. But every mile just writes the truth, this badge gets under your skin for life. Fine, oh, 4 grounds, 1 Canary badge, London, Wrexham, Midlands, Teesside tracks, from Dublin sky